Okay. Hearing none. Moving on to our last award, the E.B. Whitten Silver Medallion Award. If those who are involved with this could go ahead and unmute, and then you can as we move on with this. The E.B. Whitten Silver Medallion Award was established in 1974 in honor of the National Rehabilitation Association's first executive director. He actively participated in groundbreaking legislation, advocacy, and improvements to the rehabilitation profession. The award is presented to an individual who has exercised notable leadership in removing environmental and legal barriers and is helping you to overcome discrimination of persons with disabilities. Let me just, on a personal note, this year I've been able to, and last year I've been able to connect with the family of E.B. Whitten. And they are honored that this award is being given in the name of their father and grandfather. I spoke with both generations. They think the world of the profession in general and the National Rehabilitation Association. So they are very proud to have this. In the future, they want to become more involved and make sure that we're aware of some of the various things that have occurred to, and Mr. Whitten was able to do to this award being named in his honor. So this award was nominated, Mr. Carlos Serván is the recipient this year from Nebraska. And so Mark Bolger was the one that nominated Mr. Serván. So are you on the line, please?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead and say a few words, please.
Yes. First of all, my name's Mark Bolger, and I live here in Nebraska. And here in Nebraska, we're very proud of the Nebraska Commission for Blind and Visually Impaired. And our executive director is Carlos Serván. And I nominated him because I know him well, I respect him, and have seen his commitment to vocational rehabilitation. Here in Nebraska, we have a very successful voc rehab services for the blind. And it's because we have an excellent executive director in Carlos Serván. And also it's because we have great staff. And I sometimes wonder, is Carlos a great leader because he has a great staff, or do we have a great staff because he's a great leader? I think it's a combination of both. But the beneficiaries of this are the blind consumers of Nebraska. Carlos was blinded as a young man in his native country of Peru. He quickly realized that to get the best possible voc rehabilitation services, he moved to the United States. He quickly earned a master's degree in law and public administration. He went to work in New Mexico and did an outstanding job for about 3 years, and Nebraska was fortunate enough to steal him away or give him where he served as deputy director in the Nebraska Commission for Blind and Visually Impaired for about 20 years. When the executive director retired, I was involved in the hiring process, and we received some very good applications, but Carlos was by far the best. In everything he does, he excels. He's committed to what he does. More importantly, he's a role model. Being a blind man himself, he has high standards and high expectations for himself and for others. Carlos is a humble man with great character and integrity. He's an innovator. He's a problem solver. He's an optimistic person. He's pragmatic. He's a motivator, and he's a leader. He has excellent blind skills, and he has high expectations for himself and others around him. he is a role model for what people with disabilities can become. And he is a role model for other leaders of vocational rehabilitation services. Carlos is uniquely qualified to receive this award because he understands law. He's a lawyer. He understands the legislative process and how to navigate the law. He's just he really is a good understander of just how things are. And you know, the goal is we want disabled people to live with independence and opportunity and experience equality. Carlos, since he's been the executive director here in Nebraska in the last 3 years, he's done some incredible things. Through his leadership and partnerships with the consumer groups, we were able to get a significant increase in funding for older blind people. We essentially convinced our state to give us $500,000 a year, and that pretty much quadrupled our budget for older blind people. We expanded our blind vending program to make it possible for vendors not only to work in federal buildings, but also in our state buildings. And that's giving more blind people opportunities to be gainfully employed and independently successful. Carlos has assembled a great leadership team that they're continuing just to have great outcomes at Nebraska with blind people finding jobs, good jobs. Here in Nebraska, it's all about finding and creating and preparing blind people to work independently. It's about jobs. It's also about giving them dignity and showing them what people with disabilities can do. Carlos has been he's a person that the staff can relate to well. He hires good people. He's respected. He's likable. He's just, people want to do well because he expects so much of himself and other people. The consumers respect him. He's quick to listen. He's available. I serve as the state president of one of the consumer groups in Nebraska's American Council of the Blind, and you know, he works with the Nebraska's American Council of the Blind, and also another consumer group, the Nebraska Federation of Blind, and he's very engaged. He goes to our conventions. He gives us updates. He brings back information, concerns. I can't tell you, I've talked to him on a number of occasions, and he is always a great listener. He always has great insight. He cares about us. He cares about blind people, and he wants us to experience independence. And I can't tell you how happy we are in Nebraska to have Carlos Serván and the many great people that work at the Nebraska Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired, and for our state in general. We are just so blessed to have him, and I think he epitomizes the spirit of this award, the E.B. Whitten Silver Medallion, and I can't be more proud of him. And so thank you very much for thank you very much.
Excellent. Any others that want to speak in regards to this award? Okay. Carlos, do you want to say a few words, please?
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank the NRA Award Committee. I want to thank Mr. Mark Bolger for his nomination and his kind words today. I'm honored and humbled to receive this award. And I want to dedicate it to the staff of the Nebraska Commission for the Blind and the consumers of Nebraska. As Mr. Bolger mentioned, I'm an immigrant. I came to the US in 1989 as a blind person without much expectations. I ended in New Mexico. And I had the privilege to learn from Dr. Fred Schroeder and Mr. Joe Cordova. So I want to thank them for the mentorship they gave me, but also to introduce me to this great career, the vocational rehabilitation, and in my case for the blind, a profession in which we are about elevating expectations for blind people, working day to day with businesses, partners, and also trying to persuade the government. Mr. Bolger mentioned that I'm a lawyer and that helps me to navigate the legislative process. Yes, it does. And what helps me even more is the fact that our staff members are dedicated, passionate. They provide good services to blind people. So when the time to persuade the legislator comes, it's not hard for me to talk to them about the services we provide, because then the consumers come and testify about the value, the quality services we provide. I also want to thank my family in general, you know, my wife, my children, my brothers and sisters, my uncle Rigoberto, I think he's in Peru too. But once again, I'm dedicating this award to the employees of the Nebraska Commission for the Blind and the consumers of Nebraska, the National Federation of the Blind of Nebraska, and the American Council of the Blind of Nebraska. We have an exemplary model in this state in which the state works together with the consumers to make sure that we can provide the best services available. And even those that are not available, we will find ways, we will persuade the legislators, we will partner with the public schools, with the employers. And that's possible because of the partnership that we have. Once again, I'm humbled to receive the award. I'm honored to get it. I have it here with me. Before you ask me, Paul, I don't know if you guys can see it. Here it is. Thanks again.
Excellent. Anyone else that wants to say anything? So again, congratulations, Carlos, for receiving this award. And thank you all for attending today. I had to pull my suit out of mothballs. I will let you know I'm still in my house slippers, though, to stay comfortable on Zoom. Yes, Dr. Henderson, please.
Can we acknowledge the board members that were able to make the award ceremony?
Okay.